Auracast is here now. No, you're not quite following me. Auracast is literally right here, right now in my hands. And from what I've been told, our audiology clinic in London is the first in the UK to install it. In fact, it's likely to be amongst the first in the world. And today I'm going to share everything that I've learnt so far. Airport gates and train platforms, concert halls and lectures, even theatres and the cinema. Have you ever been to any of these venues struggling to hear what's being said and just wished that your hearing aids could plug directly into the system? Free of background noise, with pure, high fidelity, crystal clear speech being streamed directly to both of your hearing aids. Well, what if I were to tell you that this isn't future technology and it isn't a pipe dream, but it's actually here and it's called Auracast? In fact, in a recent poll that I put out there on YouTube, I asked you, my faithful YouTube community, where you thought you would benefit from Auracast the most. And the results are in, with it being a real mixed bag of where you guys are looking forward to better hearing when Auracast takes over the world, especially with the likes of the television, airports or train stations, where I have to admit, everybody struggles, even with normal hearing. So something has to change. I genuinely believe that Auracast is going to take over the world. Saying that, I've only scratched the surface in terms of where I think it would be helpful, mainly because YouTube will only let me put 4 options in that poll. So if you're as excited about Auracast as I am, could you do me a favour and jump into the comments to share where you feel that Auracast will have the biggest impact on your day-to-day life? In the top of the comments, I've pinned a list of areas where I think it will be beneficial, so I would love to hear your thoughts. So what exactly is Auracast? Auracast is made possible with Bluetooth Low Energy Audio, which is a new standard in connectivity that lets devices broadcast high quality audio to an unlimited number of people who have Auracast enabled devices, such as hearing aids and even earbuds and headphones. Until now, there's been nothing out there in the hearing tech space like this, because in reality, it is not comparable to a telecoil, nor infrared found in theatres, nor even PA systems. In fact, the most similar comparison that I can think of is a standard radio transmitter, broadcasting a signal which anybody can tune into, with a minimum latency and maximum quality. And in practical terms, which is the thing that excites me the most, for those of you with a hearing loss, you'll be able to walk into a space such as an airport, museum, train station, or religious building, and you can connect your hearing aids with a simple button press on your phone or via an app. Believe it or not, this equipment that nearly dropped that then. This equipment that I'm holding in my hands has been in the making for a decade now. Yes, 10 years, with all of the top hearing aid manufacturers having contributed to its research and development. Yet one manufacturer, the Danish giants GN, who are makers of Resound and Beltone hearing aids, currently have the only active version of this technology built into these hearing aids, and have done so now for a few generations, including their Resound Nexia, Vivia and Savvy hearing aids. And they're even boasting that it's also a feature built into their next round of NHS hearing aids in the UK. It's a big deal. So I really feel the need to reiterate this. This isn't a prototype, nor is it a drill, nor is it the future of hearing aid technology. But it is in fact the now of hearing aid technology. Now I have to share this with you guys. Quite excitingly, to demonstrate this initiative, GN recently teamed up with a global lineup of partners, including Hearing Australia, NAL, Samsung, Google and Bluetooth, to showcase exactly how powerful Auracast is in one of the world's most iconic venues, the Sydney Opera House, specifically within their drama theatre and the Utzon Room, with 61 attendees present, including journalists, hearing aid users and audiologists. Sadly, I couldn't make it, but I just want to say thank you, GN, for the invite. However, there were others from the Hearing Tracker team who reported how incredible this technology is in practice, as they experienced the world's first Auracast broadcasted audio, which included various speeches and a string quartet and singer, all streamed directly to either hearing aids, the Auri receivers and steel set headphones, or Samsung earbuds. So what was the end result? As you would expect, it provides a rich and detailed sound and the sensation of being sat on stage with the musicians. There is literally nothing more that you could hope for with this technology. If you're wondering how complicated this technology is to use, it couldn't be more simple. The sound was transmitted via the Auri transmitter connected to the microphones on stage with the ability to transmit up to 100 meters, which is around 330 feet. Thank you, Google. Then using the new Resound Vivias, which I have to add are the first hearing aids to have Auracast Assistant built into them directly within their Resound 3D app, it's simply a case of selecting the relevant channel that you wish to hear, which in this case was the drama theatre channel. And like I say, the possibilities are endless with this. For those with hearing aids, for those without hearing aids, and for those with Auracast compatible headphones. This is, without question, the future of accessibility, and I wouldn't be surprised if in a year or two's time you'll look around a theatre and see half of the audience wearing headphones and tuned into the Auracast transmission. Now, I've spoken about Auracast so much in my YouTube videos over the last couple of years that when I heard the transmitters were finally in production, I could not wait to get my hands on them and have one installed in the clinic, which I've heard is an incredibly simple thing to do, but I'll save that for another video in the future. Much to the dismay of everybody in my practice, we haven't installed it yet because I've grabbed it to make today's video and show you exactly what it consists of. For those of you that like some of the technical detail, this is the Auri TX2N transmitter, which is a professional grade, low profile device designed for seamless integration into various environments. It uses a plug and play approach with no complicated wiring necessary and for very little expense. As I've mentioned, one of the key benefits is it can be installed anywhere and users don't need to pair to be able to receive a transmission from it. In fact, it's so powerful that the Auracast broadcasted audio can connect an unlimited number of compatible receivers without the need for pairing. As I brushed over earlier, it has a range of 100 meters with a clear line of sight, and therefore there is no question that it will replace all assistive technology going forwards. The single transmitter is equipped with two Bluetooth 5.3 radios, allowing for flexible routing options and the capability to broadcast separate audio streams simultaneously. Plus, you have the ability to choose between analog mic, line inputs, or Dante inputs, with individually switchable 24-volt phantom power supporting mono, stereo, or dual mono configurations. It's also worth me mentioning that as Resound are ahead of the curve, they also have personal Auracast transmitters such as their TV streamer, allowing for the same features but just on an at-home level. Moving on to the RX1 receivers, which are designed to receive high quality, low latency audio from the Auri transmitter for those without Auracast compatible hearing aids. Again, for those of you that love detail, you'll be delighted to hear that they use Bluetooth 5.3 for receiving real-time audio broadcasts from Auri transmitters, supporting both mono and stereo formats, and do so at a low latency between 29 to 45 milliseconds, depending on the sample rate and configuration, meaning that you shouldn't experience synchronization issues between your ears and your eyes. You'll notice here that the RX1 is equipped with two 3.5mm TRRS jacks compatible with standard headphones and inductive neck loop. So building on what I was saying earlier, they can cater for those of you wearing non-Auracast-ready hearing aids with a built-in telecoil. From a practical standpoint, it features a rechargeable lithium polymer battery offering over 20 hours of continual use, with a full recharge taking just 4 hours. And then from a usability point of view, you can see the OLED display showing channel information, battery status, signal strength, and volume levels. And in my opinion, it's the small things that make all the difference, with the display brightness adjusting itself based on ambient light. As far as controls go, in my opinion, they couldn't be more intuitive, allowing for control over the power, volume up and down, and two multifunction soft buttons for easy operation. And then finally, as far as the charging goes, you'll have the option for either using a USB-C cable or via their dedicated docking stations. So that's the lowdown. If you want access to this incredible Auracast technology, then realistically you'll benefit from any hearing aid with built-in Auracast, which isn't, incidentally, all of the latest models. So if you want the full lowdown on which hearing aids are Auracast ready, you must check out this video covering the best hearing aids of 2025.